We're doing breast milk today. A lot of you guys have been asking, and I always told you I'm not going to do anything until I'm very comfortable with doing it. And after a lot of research, a lot of video watching, a lot of brain searching and soul searching, I am finally comfortable with doing breast milk. First things first, please sterilize everything. My pans have been sterilized. You see, I'm using white parchment paper on these, fresh, brand new roll of parchment paper. I'm not gonna use the brown ones that we typically been using. My pans have been sterilized to the best that I can without any abrasion to my Harvest White pans. This breast milk that I'm going to be using is breast milk from my daughter. It's my grandbaby's breast milk, so this is for personal use. I'm not selling it, not advertising it. It's for personal use in-house. My grandbaby actually has an allergy to dairy, and in the beginning my daughter was eating the dairy, and we realized he couldn't have the breast milk because it had dairy in it. So at that point she just stopped what she had until she cut dairy out of her diet. So all of this breast milk that I'm going to freeze dry is what's been left over that actually has dairy in it. Now we calculated all of these ounces up, and we got about 32.5 ounces of breast milk. This has been kept in our deep freezer. As you can see, it's been kept in the breast milk bags. So it is still sterile. It's been frozen, never been unthawed. We're not going to unthaw it now. What I'm going to do is just cut these out and just slide them out directly onto the pan. Please, please, please use gloves. I don't have, for some reason I'm out of gloves. I had one in a box. And I'm using it on this hand because I have a terrible cold sensitivity in this hand. But please use gloves. And when I tell you, everything about this process has to be sterile, so I'm going to handle it as least as possible with this hand since I don't have a glove for this hand. But we're going to get into it. As you can see, this breast milk has been kept flat, and a lot of these are, all of them actually, are pretty flat, which is good. That means I don't have to try to break these down to fit inside of the pan, because what we don't want is your breast milk to be stacked above the side of the pans. I want everything to lay as flat as possible, evenly as possible, so that the drying process will go pretty quick and even. And so with that, we're gonna get into it. Let's get these open, let's get them on our trays, and then I'm gonna show you what the settings are on our freeze dry, because those settings are gonna be different than what we normally run, okay? Okay, so we're gonna set our freeze dryer on 95 degrees. So what we're trying to do is keep it as close to body temp as possible. Now we could either go 95 or 100, the way the settings go. So I didn't want to go 90. It goes all the way down to 90. I didn't want to go 90. So 95, and then it goes up to 100. So we're going to stick it in the middle at 95. I am going to do extra dry time of 12 hours. Why? Because I want to make sure this is completely dry. Okay, guys, so we're back. The breast milk is done. It ran for about 26 hours, a little over 26 hours, 26 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. I did have to stop it in the middle, after the cycle did its complete run. Because of the clumpiness of it, I did have to stop it, break down those big clumps, because the freeze dryer was registering that it was dry when actually inside of the chunks, it really wasn't. So what we did was we took it out, we chopped it up a little bit more, and then put it back in the freeze dryer for an additional 8 hours. So 26 hours total is what it took to get everything completely dry. And I did, because we had to stop it and break it up, this is what it looks like. And we have breast milk. And again, that's that powder. Just like with the milk, the regular milk that we did, the non-dairy milk and the almond milk, it's the same thing. And it's the same process. I don't want to reconstitute any of this because I don't have anyone to drink it. And I don't want to waste good breast milk. You can still see the crystals in the milk, which means that it's still good. You can also see a lot of the fat that's in the breast milk as well. And this is what I mean by the fat. If you can see that discoloration, not necessarily discoloration, but this is white This is yellow, so this is more fatty than this milk. But we're gonna mix it all in together. Now, like I said, initially this was 32.2 ounces of breast milk. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna weigh this after everything, now that everything is dry. And what is lacking is the amount of water that you're going to use to put back into the breast milk to reconstitute it. So that's how you figure out your measurements. You want to measure it before you put it in the freeze dryer and measure it after. What it loses is what you put back to make sure you get the perfect ratio of water to breast milk powder to mix back together. So this is going into Mylar bags, as usual with everything that we do. It's going in the Mylar bag. We're gonna put an oxygen absorber in there. We're gonna label it. We're gonna put it on our shelf. Hopefully when my grandson is older, he can possibly take dairy again. This will be ready and waiting there for him. It's 25 years on the shelf, completely sealed, untouched, unharmed. And I'm so excited that this worked out really good, and we will continue to do this process going forward. Shalom.